Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing very well at home and studying sincerely for the next preparatory examination. We have discussed one model question paper in the previous session. Today, I am going to discuss another model question paper. The copies are already sent to you. Today, I will discuss model question paper 2. One mark questions. First one. Where did the man have his leg hurt in The Gentleman of the Jungle? Where did he have his hut? At the edge of the forest. Question number 2. In The Schoolboy, going to school is a dash experience for the speaker. There are three options given: happy, joyous, despairing. The experience for the speaker here is not joyous, not happy, but despairing, sad. Third question. How much money had the narrator saved as his life savings in Oru Manushan? Do you remember? He had 14 rupees as his life savings. How much was the bill amount? Bill amount was not 14 rupees, it was different amount. Just remember how much it was: 11 annas. But his life savings was 14 rupees. Next, fourth question. Name the illiterate woman who is described as a crusading educationalist in the chapter Babar Ali. Who is the illiterate woman there? You must be knowing Tudu Rani Hazra or Tudu Vashi. She was the illiterate fishmonger and she was a crusading educationalist. When she went rounds in the nearby places of her village for selling fish, she even recruited students. She created awareness among the parents about the importance of education and asked them to send their children to school. Those who discontinued their studies also were persuaded to rejoin the school. Next, fifth question. Who believes that education is man's true religion in Babar Ali? Who actually was believing that education is man's true religion? Babar Ali's father, Nasiruddin Sheikh. Sixth question answer. How many gods are said to be sheltering inside the sacred cow in If I Was a Tree? 300,000 gods. Seventh question. Mara in Watchman of the Lake is called a dash by the village headman. Options given are sage, lunatic, godman. All of you know he was called as madman or lunatic. So lunatic is the answer. Eighth question. According to Mara, the watchman, when did Hanuman come in search of Sanjeevani? When did Hanuman come to Baba Budan Hills to take Sanjeevani? When Lakshmana was wounded in the battlefield. Next, ninth question. Whom does you in kick me when you were drunk in the farmer's wife refer to? Who actually kicked the wife of the farmer? Farmer only, dead husband. Okay? Next, 10th question answer. Who stick to you like a bow, according to the speaker, in an old woman? They stick to you like a bow. The speaker says there. Who stick to you like a bow? Old women. You know how old women are. They stick to you like a bird. 11th question. How old was Nicola, according to the narrator, in Two Gentlemen of Varuna? How old was he? Nicola was 13 and Jacopo was 12. So here 13. 12th question. In Two Gentlemen of Verona, Lucia is the name of the little boy's sister. Your options given are mother, sister, nurse. Lucia was sister of those two boys. So answer is sister. We have discussed 12 1-mark questions. Next we move to 4-mark questions. Thirteenth question, 4 marks. How did the elephant occupy the man's hut in The Gentleman of the Jungle? Again, same answer what we just discussed in the previous question paper, question number 13. How once an elephant made a friendship with a man, then what happened, how he occupied man's hut. Everything you should write the beginning part of the story. You can write in 12 to 15 lines. Remember, you have to write answers in 12 to 15 lines for 4 marks question. Next, 14th question. Comment on how the speaker feels in his school in the schoolboy. Again, summary of the poem The Schoolboy. Question is different, answer is the same. Comment on how the speaker feels in his school. You can write in your own way, but you have to write appropriately. 15th question. Give an account of the narrator's routine in Oru Manushan. Remember, chapter Oru Manushan, there, narrator's routine in the city. He got up at 4 in the afternoon and he used to go to a restaurant to have his meal and tea. After that, he would sleep again and he would conduct classes at night. He would not get up in the morning and even in the midday to save the expense of his morning tea and noon meal. And he taught migrant laborers to write addresses in English. Remember all those things there given in the textbook and write appropriately. 16th question. Describe the school Babar Ali runs for the underprivileged. Write about Babar Ali school, how he started it, how he developed it, name of his school, Anand Shiksha Niketan, and how many were the initial students, how much was the initial strength of the school and the present strength, and how they conduct classes, where they conduct classes, how different is Babar Ali school from other schools, how do Babar Ali and his friends conduct classes effectively, even by sparing rod. Write all those things. 17th question. What reasons does the speaker put forward for choosing to become a tree in If I Was a Tree? Here again, same answer, summary of the poem. What reasons does the speaker put forward for choosing to become a tree instead of becoming an untouchable human being? Being an untouchable human, he could not enjoy the privileges that he could enjoy being a tree. Which privileges he could enjoy should be written there. If I was a tree, the bird would not ask me what caste I am when I go to build a nest. When the bird goes to build a nest, it would not ask the caste of the tree, and remaining everything what comes in the poem. His shadow would not become a thing of defilement, and raindrops would not make any discrimination. Tree would not be considered as an untouchable, and a tree would not be treated badly as a dog eater is treated, and Mother Earth would not flee shouting for a bath, feeling the defilement, and at last the tree may get a chance to burn in the holy fire, or tree's parts may be used for the bier, which would be used to take the dead body of a sinless man. So all those privileges a tree could enjoy. 18th question. Why does Mara try to meet the king in Watchman of the Lake? Why does Mara try to meet the king? You know, Mara saw the goddess coming in his dream often, and goddess would tell him to convey her message to the king that a tank should be built to river Veda. Mara was waiting for that opportunity, but it was not easy for Mara to approach the king because Mara was considered mad in his village. Even when there was the news of king's arrival, Mara was not allowed to meet the king. Road workers were repairing the road, and headman of the village ordered Bhima to keep Mara away from the sight until the king arrives and departs. So Mara was kept in the cellar behind the old temple, and Bhima was in charge of keeping an eye on him. Somehow Mara escaped at night and climbed up a tree and waited there for king's arrival. When king was just arriving, he jumped down the tree and appeared before the king and told the king about goddess's intention of getting a tank built for river Veda. As said, king approved it and built a tank to river Veda. 19th one, bring out Mara's sacrifice in Watchman of the Lake. How Mara met the king, told the king to build a tank. Actually it was the intention of the goddess. After building the tank, Mara was appointed as the watchman of the lake by the king himself. Then Mara started to watch the lake sincerely, but gradually he developed ego and he started to say and think that he was the ultimate authority there over the lake. This made the goddess become enraged or angry. Once goddess appeared in a very wild mood, she was going to devastate or destroy everything because she did not want Mara becoming that egoistic, and Mara claimed that he was the ultimate authority there over the lake and surroundings. So the goddess wanted to destroy the bounds of the lake. Now Mara requested the goddess not to destroy the boundary of the lake because the water of the lake would destroy the whole kingdom and all the subjects of the king would see a tragic end. But goddess did not agree. Finally, Mara requested goddess to allow him to just go to the capital once and inform the king that deluge was upon them. Goddess permitted him to go. Mara went to the king and described everything, what happened, how angry goddess was, and Mara even suggested the only way which was open for them, only chance which was open for them to save themselves was to make Mara unable to return to the goddess. Goddess had promised that she would not continue her devastation until Mara would return. So Mara gave the suggestion to the king that he could give death sentence to Mara just by beheading him, and once Mara dies he would not be able to return and the kingdom will be saved. Having no alternative, king ordered for the same and Mara was assassinated, killed, and king's kingdom was saved, and king built a shrine or a temple in the memory of Mara's sacrifice. There are two figures or idols in the shrine. One is of goddess, another one is of Mara. That way Mara's sacrifice saved the whole kingdom and the lake and thousands of lakhs of subjects. Twentieth, explain the plight of the speaker after her husband's death in the farmer's wife. After the death of husband, how farmer's wife felt helplessness, how she was unable to bear all the burden, but still she took a resolution to face all the odds and stay alive for the sake of her four children, and she even wanted to teach her children to clench their fist and get ready for any challenges of life. They had to live, they had only one option, that was to live, not to die. Like the farmer, the wife could not die and she did not want to make her children like their father. She wanted to teach her children to be confident and ready to face any odds of life. Death is not the solution for the problems of life. She wanted to teach this moral to her children. She finally decided it to do. Her condition was actually worst one once she lost her husband, because she became responsible for the credit what he had taken from the creditors, from the lenders. She had to repay it. She had to look after four children and she had to look after the field, crops. So in the poem, she first the poet depicts her helplessness, her plight, her worst situation of life, and finally how she takes a resolution, strong decision to remain alive somehow by hook or crook. Next, question number 21. How is the dramatic transformation in the speaker's attitude brought out in An Old Woman? We have studied the poem, how that old woman tries to earn her own livelihood, not by begging but by offering a service, that is to take the travelers to Ashu shrine and as a reward for her service getting 50 paisa. And how a dramatic transformation happens in the mind of the speaker, the visitor there. First, when the old woman tags along the shoulder of the speaker just once turns to her and gives a look of contempt, and he wanted to end the farce, end the matter, but she doesn't lose her confidence. She still makes him think about her plight. She even asks him, what else could an old woman do on a hill wretched like this? When she asks, she remains helpless, and narrator also, the speaker there, the visitor also feels the same kind of helplessness. They both look at the sky, and he even looks through the bullet holes. Her eyes, which are looking like bullet holes. Bullet holes are those holes created by bullet shot from the gun. How the bullets make holes. Similarly, her eyes were looking. Her eyes had sunken deep inside the skull, and still she remains unshaken. She remains confident, even all odds and challenges were around her and nobody was ready to help her. She remains confident. She manages to remain alive and confident. This makes the speaker finally see a transformation in him within, and he starts to gradually feel low. He feels inferior because he could not make up his mind just to give away 50 paise coin, and he feels that his honor, his status only reduced to the value of 50 paise coins, the change in her hand. He also became of such worth only. He felt so within. Next, question number 22. What role did the little boys play during the resistance movement in Two Gentlemen of Varuna? Explain. What role did the little boys play during the resistance movement? After German elite guard established their headquarters in Verona, the life in Verona became dreadful. The German elite guard ruled Verona with ruthless severity for 3 years. The life of the people of Verona became hellish. So, a secret movement started to happen against the dictatorship of German elite guard. Some people united secretly and started to develop their own troop to fight against the German supremacy. These two boys were of great help to those activists because these were just boys of very young age. They could work as spies. They could even they could just take messages from one place to another secretly, because usually they were not doubted by the soldiers of German elite guard. But what they were doing was very risky job, because if any German elite guard soldier doubts them, then their condition would be under danger. They would have been even shot at sight. Such danger they had to face, but they managed to remain safe. They even took messages in their shoes to the mountains. So, being very active young boys, they were of great help to the resistance movement. Yeah, remember, you have to attempt any 8 questions and you have to choose at least 2 from poetry. Next we go for the discussion of 6 marks questions. Here 3 are given, we have to choose any one and should write in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Remember, 4 mark questions should be answered in 1 paragraph. Here 6 marks questions should be answered in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Question number 23. The Gentleman of the Jungle is a story of exploitation and resistance. Explain. Answer will be the same, but question is a bit different one, looking strange. It is a story of exploitation and resistance. Who exploited actually? The jungle lords. Who started resistance gradually? The man. First, man was innocent. When elephant made a friendship with man, man believed elephant, and when elephant came and asked to allow him to put his trunk inside the hut, man allowed the elephant to put his trunk, but later, the next moment itself, elephant pushed his head also inside and entered the hut and flung the man out in the rain. Then man thought he was cheated, but he remained helpless. In their course of action, all the animals gathered there. There was a heated argument between man and elephant. Finally, king came, lion came and inquired and ordered to appoint a commission of inquiry, but the commission of inquiry also included all jungle lords only who were friends of Mr. Elephant, and even though they were well known in their jungle for their impartiality, Even though they were experts of jungle law, they made injustice to man by turning the case in the favor of elephant. Elephant only was asked first to present his case before the commission when commission held a session, and finally they announced the verdict that the hut would belong to elephant, as elephant saved it from being blown away by a hurricane. Elephant went to his friend to save his hut and occupied it and saved the hut from the hurricane. So naturally the hut would belong to him and man would be allowed to build another hut. He will be allotted a new site. That way, in the first instance, man was cheated, he was made injustice, but he remained helpless because he knew jungle lords were very strong. He could not show his resistance in the initial stages. So he remained silent and kept on building new huts, but all jungle lords occupied them one after another. Finally, it was the question of man's existence. Man decided either he has to do something, otherwise there will not be existence and happiness in his life. He understood. So he built a bigger and better hut, and all jungle lords came there and occupied it and started to fight for their rights in the hut. Now man thought it was the right opportunity to teach them all a lesson and set the hut on fire and burn them all. By doing so, even though he was innocent in the beginning, even though he remained helpless in the course of their exploiting activities, at last man showed such a resistance that they could not even save their lives only. They lost all their lives only. So man's final resistance movement was very effective one and harsh one only, but he had to do it. He said finally, peace is costly, but it is worth the expense. He had to somehow establish peace for the sake of his life, even by risking the lives of all those jungle lords. By doing so, he finally established peace, but worth was the lives of those jungle lords. Similarly, in this world, once colonization happened and colonizers, European colonizers, established their political authority and commercial supremacy all over the world, but finally resistance movement started, freedom fight started all over the world, and all countries drove them away from their native lands and colonization entered. Another question. Mara's sacrifice in Watchman of the Lake makes us think of the sacrifices we need to make in order to save the water bodies. Discuss. As said in the beginning itself, there in the play Watchman of the Lake, there is a message regarding our ecological responsibility. Mara's sacrifice in Watchman of the Lake saved the lake, and it also makes us think of the sacrifices we need to make in order to save the water bodies. Mara's sacrifice was a great sacrifice. Everyone cannot do that because he sacrifices life itself for the sake of the subjects, for the kingdom, and for the sake of the lake. But are we not responsible to this society? Are we not responsible to nature? Of course, we are also. We can do some sacrifice we can make some sacrifice, not just we can't follow Mara, but what is possible for us we can do to save the water sources. At least we should not pollute them. If possible, we can take some measures to retain the water sources, and we can lead even some movements to save lakes, rivers, good water sources, drinking water sources. Otherwise, surely there will be scarcity of water in future, and our posterity, future generation would really suffer very badly. Next, the farmer's wife shows the strength of an Indian woman in the struggle for life. Substantiate your answer in the light of the poem Farmer's Wife. The plight of the farmer's wife given in the poem is not just the plight of that woman, it is the common plight of each woman in India from traditional agricultural background. Husbands would be irresponsible, they will be drunkards, they will have different unproductive activities of incurring loss, and finally they would become defaulters. They would not be able to repay the loans and they commit suicide. But what should the wives do? They cannot commit suicide like husbands do. So they have to remain alive, and they even have showed their strength and are showing their strengths to remain alive, responsible to the family. So this poem shows the strength of an Indian woman. You might have seen in history also, Indian women suffered different hardships, exploitation even, but they were very strong. Often they challenged the male dominant society only and remained alive by doing different productive activities. They managed to run the family. They did a lot of hard work and sacrifice. Their struggle for life only made actually Indians develop to this extent. The contribution of Indian women is praiseworthy, noteworthy when we speak about the development of Indian society, because they have a key role in the development of personalities of children, and they only give stability to family life. Next is passage about penguins. Read the passage and write answers. You only do it. Next, Roman number 5. Fill in the blanks with appropriate articles and prepositions given in the brackets. Articles and prepositions. The two boys were seated at dash bedside of a girl dash about See, there is some mistake in the question. I have written in corrected way. About 20. She was wearing dash pretty lace jacket and was listening to dash the charter of her little brothers. Here articles and prepositions given are of, to, and the. Now apply articles and prepositions. The two boys were seated at the bedside of a girl of about 20. She was wearing a pretty lace jacket and was listening to the chatter of her little brothers. For articles or prepositions, 4 marks. Next question number 35. Fill in the blanks with the suitable forms of verb given in the brackets. One day I got up at 4 p.m. You have to write like this only in the examination, don't write direct answers. I finished my chores and dash in brackets step out for my tea. I was dash in brackets dress in a suit. I dash brackets have a wallet in my coat pocket. I dash brackets enter a crowded restaurant for a meal. Now let us write answers. One day I got up at 4 p.m. So got up is there. The whole paragraph might be in past tense. We can guess like that. Here also see this word also is in past tense. So here let us write in past tense only. I finished my chores and stepped out for my tea. I was dressed. Here this is V3 form because this passive voice helping verb is used. This is past participle form. I was dressed in a suit. I had a wallet in my coat pocket. I entered a crowded restaurant for a meal. Write like this in the examination too. Don't write answers directly. Write the paragraph given and fill in the blanks. Be careful while writing the answers. Spellings also should be correct. Everything should be correct there. Otherwise, marks will not be allotted. Next comes error identification and correction. Before that, subject verb agreement. See, question number 36. Subject verb agreement. Babar Ali's story also dash there two options are given. Bear is plural form and bears is singular form. Bears evidence to the fact that if one dash have or has the will there surely dash in brackets is or are away. A 9-year-old alone can change the world. Should be an inspiration for all of us. Here this is the given paragraph. Now we have to fill in the blanks. Babar Ali's story also Bear or base? Which one? Babar Ali's story. Story is the subject there. Subject is singular. Third person, it. So we use the third person form of the verb in present tense. This paragraph is in present tense because Babar Ali's story is still continuing. Still his achievement is going on. So let us write it in present tense itself. Subject is third person singular, so base. Evidence to the fact that if one here means he or she, but singular. So has. If one has the will, there surely is. Away. Here, away is the subject of this word. Okay. Away is singular, so is used here. Surely is away. An ideal word alone can change the world. Should be an inspiration for all of us. This way, there will be 3 blanks for subject-verb agreement. You have to write cautiously, carefully. Do not go wrong with this. This looks very simple, but if you are not careful enough, this will easily make you confused. Keep in mind that subject-verb agreement is important. Even when you write answers for 4 marks and 6 marks questions, you have to write the right verb forms there which agree with the subjects. Otherwise, you will lose marks there, half mark and all for each mistake. So learn this and remember this for life. Do not forget. You do not learn articles, prepositions, subject, verb agreement, verb forms and all just for the examination sake. You have to remember them and you have to practice them in your life so that your language proficiency will be achieved. Next, D, question number 37. This is regarding error identification. Rain is coming. That is not the right usage. So answer here is it is raining. This is a usage related error. We have written correct answer. 38. I will went home in the afternoon. Very easy to identify here. The mistake. Went is wrong. Will is there. When modal is there, past forms cannot come. So we can write only present form. I will go home in the afternoon. Next, E, rewrite as directed. There are different 1 mark questions. First one is on homophones. Question number 39. I shall dash return and written. This is also actually not return but return. This is also written. Same sounds but spellings are different, meanings are different, words are different. I shall not dash your kindness in future. Who said? Actually, Mr. Elephant said to man, I shall return. I shall return your kindness in future means when time comes, I would also help you back. Return. Next, question number 40. Mara waited for the king's dash in brackets permit to make his son the watchman of the lake. Here you have to write the noun form, that is permission. Remember, write the whole line given, not just answer. Next, question number 41. Jumbled segments. You have to rearrange the segments so that meaningful sentence is constructed. Valued was by highly then money. Your answer is money was highly valued by them. And put one full stop at the end. Here M should be capital because this is the beginning letter. Question number 42 is on question tag. Baba Ali is the world's youngest headmaster. Put one comma and write the appropriate question tag. See, here the sentence given is positive. There is no not in the sentence. So you have to include not in the question tag. This is the verb here, Baba Ali is. So same verb is used in the question tag. With the not. Isn't he? Is the question tag. Put question mark and underline it. First letter should be small. Baba Ali is the world's youngest headmaster. Isn't he? Question number 43. Hanuman brought the Sanjeevani. Change into a question beginning with the right form of do. Here brought is the verb, it is in past tense, so let us begin with did. Did Hanuman bring the Sanjeevani? Is the question. Next, question number 44. Mr. Leopard occupied the newly built hut. There one mistake is there. Sentence part is not underlined. You just underline Mr. Leopard. Okay. Mr. Leopard occupied the newly built hut. Underline Mr. Leopard. Now, which question word should be used here? Who? Who? The newly built hut. Question mark. Next, question number 45. The following table shows the number of runs scored by 4 batsmen during the last 4 years in the state level intercollegiate cricket tournament. Refer to it and answer the questions that follow. Refer to the table given and answer the questions. How many runs did Abid score in 2017? See there in 2017, Abid has scored 868 runs. Question number 45. A. How many runs did Abid score in 2017? 868. Right, just answers like this. B. Who has scored the highest runs in 2016? See, in 2016, highest score is by Sriram. See, mention the year in which Samson scored 1030 runs. It is 2018. Next, D. Who has scored the least runs in 2018? In 2018, least runs scored by Sriram, 986. So, Sriram is the answer. Next, question number 46. Letter writing. Write a letter to your principal requesting him or her to change the timings of online classes scheduled from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Your letter should include the reason for your inability to attend classes, the convenient time frame for you. You will start writing XXX, YYY, then leave in one line, date. You can write today's date, digit, word, digit format. After that, leave another line, and to address will be the principal, XYZ, PU College. Then leave another line, then write respected sir, R capital, S capital. Then down there, subject. Subject will be requesting to change the timings of online classes. Then body of the letter. You can write, I am XXX, I am studying in first PCMB 1 in your college. Nowadays, due to COVID-19 lockdown, we are at home only and watching online classes, but we do not find the online class schedule comfortable for us, convenient for us, which is scheduled from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. because we like to study at home in the morning. So we request you to schedule the online classes for the afternoon from 2 to 5 p.m. I hope you will understand our problem and reschedule the online classes for the afternoon. Thank you. Yours obediently, and XXX, bigger XXX in brackets, enclosure is not required. Then Roman number 7A, match the following expressions under column A to its corresponding language functions under B. Match them. Remember, you have to write both the columns and you have to write the match the expressions in the column B. When will offline classes begin? Asking for information. Yes, certainly. Agreeing. It is available in the next show. Giving information. Pleased to meet you. Greeting. Chitra, this is Kiran. Introducing. Next, completing the dialogue. Question number 48. Teacher, you are late again to class, Pradeep. Pradeep says, Madam, what reason can you give? You can guess your own reason. I just guessed one reason, so I say, I missed the bus. Madam, I missed the bus. Teacher, Pradeep, you should start early and reach the bus stop in time now onwards. You should start early and reach the bus stop in time now onwards. Pradeep, sorry madam, I will come early now onwards. Sorry madam, I will come early now onwards. Teacher, it's okay, get into the class. Get into the class. Next, dialogue writing, that is creating dialogue. Question number 49. Renu meets Prem in the college canteen. They talk about COVID-19. Write a dialogue that might take place between the two. Question number 49. Renu. Hi, Prem. How are you? Renu. Hi. Sorry. Prem. Hi, Renu. I am fine. What about you? Renu, I am also fine. Next, Prem. COVID-19 is spreading rapidly. We should wear masks. And maintain social distance. Next, rain. Yes, that is the most effective way to remain safe. Rain. Yes. We should create awareness among the students regarding this Renu, you are right. This way you can write an imaginary dialogue. This is out of my imagination. You can write different one. It is enough if you write maximum in 6 to 8 lines. But what you write should be correct grammatically. Even punctuation marks should be used properly. Even question marks, full stops, exclamation marks and all should be used appropriately. Spelling should be correct. Everything should be correct. Then you will get 3 marks for this creating dialogue, 4 marks for completing dialogue. So, in the examination, what you should keep in mind is write shortest possible answers for 1 mark questions. No need of completing sentence when you write answers for 1 mark questions. Leave 1 line after each answer. Write question numbers, correct question numbers. Write the answers for passage questions in a sequence. Write the paragraphs given when the instruction is fill in the blanks. So you have to write the paragraphs given for the question of articles and prepositions, verb forms, subject verb agreement. Error correction section, there sentences are given with error. No need of writing those sentences. Directly write corrected sentences, writing the right question number. Then rewrite as directed. There also you have to write the given sentences and then write answers. Scoreboards or timetables. Write row number, question number and answer directly. No need of questions. Write answers there too without completing the sentences. Direct answers. Then letter writing, following the format is very important. Neatness also is important. You have to write flawless letters, then only you will get 5 out of 5. Then matching the expression, remember here very important is writing both the columns. Don't write one column, both the columns you have to write. And should write the appropriate function before the expression. Do not put arrow marks and all, they will not be considered. Then completing the dialogue, underline your dialogue parts and you have to write the whole dialogue. Do not write just answers there. Some students rarely do that also. Not writing the dialogue parts given in the question paper and just writing their answers only, their dialogue parts. That also will be wrong. You have to write the whole dialogue and should fill in the blanks. Creating dialogue, as I said, there everything matters, neatness also matters. Don't write lengthy dialogues, maximum 6 to 8 lines I said. Write your answer in one paragraph, 12 to 15 lines for 4 marks and 2-3 paragraphs, some 30 lines for 6 marks. Thank you.